two, one. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Your boy, the Dread Man, is back, and here we are with the NFL Fourth and Goal podcast. I'm your host, and I'm here with my boy Wazzle Top. Waz, what's going on tonight, man? You doing all right? Ooh, hold that thought. Ooh, technical difficulties, guys. I'll be right back. Well, I won't be right back, but you guys on TikTok Live can see. Search for a space, create a space. Set up. Yeah, this joke is acting weird. Oh, thank you guys for the likes, man. I appreciate it. Turn on microphone enable settings for Twitter. Have permissions. Mic, camera. There we go. This is nuts. Thank y'all for being patient. Thanks for the rose. I appreciate it. Thanks for the roses. Thanks for the roses. I appreciate the love. Man, let me go ahead and pull up this schedule. Once again, I apologize for technical difficulties. Let's go. There we go. All right, so for everybody who's watching right now who does not know, all right, here we go.
Okay.
All right, you're good.
We're here now.
All right. Technical difficulties, folks. Sorry about that. Anyway, welcome back to the Fourth and Goal podcast. I'm your host, the Dread Man. Here with my boy Wazzle Top. Waz, what's going on, man? You doing all right?
Yeah, man, I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Sorry to stop. Been out the last couple weeks. Just been crazy here in Florida, but glad to be back now.
Sure, absolutely. But it's been an even crazier couple of weeks in the NFL. Whew, we're already a fourth of the way through the season. Now, just a quick question. If your team is 0-4, 0-5, 1-3, 3-2-3, is it time to hit the panic button? Should you start sweating just yet, or you think some teams can turn it around?
I mean, any team I think really needs to probably hit the panic button at this point is probably your Steelers.
Mhm.
But then again, I didn't know if you thought that going into it. Maybe the Commanders Raiders at this point. I think any team that's 2-3, they're still salvageable, obviously. But those don't. I think right now, really, I think looking at the standings, we only got 2 teams that are 1-4, right? I think it's just the Commanders. I'm seeing Carolina, which they just fired their head coach. Obviously, they're panicking right now.
Oh yeah.
And then your Pittsburgh Steelers, but your Pittsburgh Steelers for sure obviously have the fallback of obviously inexperienced quarterback play and obviously injuries there. So there's a lot of things going on there. I mean, you could pretty much maybe punt this season probably most likely. I would probably maybe go ahead and do that. Even for a team like the Raiders, however, them being 1-4, I don't think they've been playing that poorly as their record shows. I think, for instance, that team, actually probably it's not really time to hit the panic button yet. I just think they're just catching some bad breaks. But how they played against the Kansas City Chiefs, even though they lost that game, I think there's still some good takeaways. I think things will kind of balance out at the end. Like you said, we're like maybe just like a quarter of the way through. There's still plenty of season to be played. Injuries are going to happen. I don't think it's time. Really, save for the Steelers, Texans, and Commanders, and Panthers. I think that's realistically the only teams that kind of basically need to hit the panic button for the most part and kind of or punt this season. Everyone else can still kind of maybe scrap or salvage somewhat of a season this year.
All right. What was your game of the week for last week? My game of the week was surprisingly Packers Giants. That surprised the hell out of me. But what about you?
Really, London game. Yeah, that was a surprisingly close game. I had actually no idea that I think the Giants would actually come close in that game. I thought the Packers would have it handily, but Giants continue to surprise us as they have been throughout the entire season. That coach is doing wonders for that squad. Daniel Jones playing probably his best season so far since he's been with the Giants. I think my game of the week, however, I'm going to have to give it to the Chiefs Raiders game.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was a really, really, really good game. I think the Raiders, gave them everything they had, threw the kitchen sink at them, and lo and behold, you have arguably the best quarterback, best tight end in the league. They put together 4 touchdowns, and they seemingly were unstoppable against that defense. The Raiders played pretty good and tough that first half. It really seemed like the Raiders' pass rush was really getting to Mahomes and causing that offense to really stall out a little bit.
Right.
But the Chiefs just find a way just throughout the game with their ability to still put up points in a quick fashion, even without a guy like a Tyreek Hill. It's just amazing. So for me it would be the Chiefs Raiders as the game of the week.
All right. Most improved team of the week. Most improved team of the week. Yeah, it would have to be. It's a toss up between the Giants and the New England Patriots a lot of people would say that the Patriots are supposed to win that game. I agree. It's just that I didn't think they would win in the fashion they did. So they get the most improved team. Yeah, they get the most improved team for me, Bob. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. The Patriots for me, they mollywop Detroit. I mean, Detroit, like for the most part during this course of the season, has been putting up a lot of points.
Yeah.
38-36. They put up 45 in a loss against Seattle the week before. But for them to get shut out, even though on the road, was pretty amazing. But I mean, in hindsight, you could argue, it's Jared Goff against Bill Belichick. Led Bill Belichick in that defensive scheme. Of course, Belichick was going to come up with a way to kind of shut them down. But I just didn't expect them to put up that kind of beat down on Detroit. I think New England, despite being just under 500, might be a sneaky team so far, especially with that third string quarterback they're trotting out now in Zappy. They seem to be kind of reminiscent of the early 2000s Patriots when Brady first got on. Running the ball, but also just playing really, really tough defense. And I think for me that they were definitely just the most improved team I've seen so far from last week. And kind of going forward, I kind of now, early on in the season, I thought it might have been kind of a done season for them, but now I'm expecting them, and now it's possible that we could probably see this team, be like maybe a 9 or 10 win team, possibly, and make a run and make a a shot at a postseason berth.
All right. And the ever so coveted choke of the week. Uh,
This is
I don't know whether I don't. This is a hard one.
Oh, it's very easy, man. It's very, very easy. This choke of the week was the first game of the week, man. It's Thursday night. It's that Colts Denver game.
Oh my God!
The freaking Denver Broncos. How is that not the choke of the
week? Oh my
Lord!
You
have them a 3-point lead, and you're in the red zone, and all you need to do is if you don't get a touchdown in 3 downs, kick the field goal, you're up 6. Matt Ryan, the Colts haven't done anything to show you they can get in the end zone. They've been kicking field goals all day long. And all you need to do is put up another 3 points. A 6-point lead in that type of game is basically a 2-score lead. Yeah. No one was scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, in hindsight, that game was terrible any damn way, but still, I mean, yeah. Yeah. But wow. I mean, you know what? I gotta agree with you. That game was pretty much the choke of the week, man. I mean,
because realize I think I'm trying to recall when that interception. Basically, not only do you not get the touchdown, you don't get the field goal, you turn it over. You turn it over in the end zone, and then you give them a chance to tie the game. I want to say when was that? That was. Yeah, it was with it 4 minutes.
Yeah,
it was 4 minutes left in the game. You know what I mean? Like you could literally run the clock. I mean, they could have got it down to probably about 3 minutes and change and have a 6-point lead.
Yeah,
there's no way the Colts would be coming back from that with how they were playing, and they found a way to blow that game. And for some reason, this Colts team has snuck out wins against the Broncos, the Chiefs. This team is just fool's gold, man.
Yeah, they are. They are an unproven team, but I mean, they're 2-1. I mean, they start the season by tying with the Texans. I mean, that kind of set the tone for what they are this year. But the thing is, like, we can't say what they are, but we can say what they're not, and they're not a championship team. And if they just so happen to squeak into the playoffs, we already know what's going to happen. It's inevitable. But yeah.
Right, bet heavy against them, no matter what. I mean, especially right now. I mean, they're missing Jonathan Taylor, but it's just not. Matt Ryan is just, you would have thought that there would have been somewhat of an improvement from last year with Wentz, but now I can't even really say that. You can't argue. I mean, Wentz wasn't playing worse than Matt Ryan's been playing this year.
No, not at all. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's get on to our Week 6 predictions. Whew. First off, the Thursday night football game. You got 2 and 3 Bears against 1 and 4 Washington. Washington is, oh my God, Washington is such a disappointment this year. And the thing is, they were hyped coming into this year. But the thing is, the fact that they've been missing Chase Young has a lot to do with how they're playing. But Carson Wentz, he makes ridiculous decisions. And the thing is, and when they're up, they can't hold on to a lead worth a damn. Now, Chicago, this team is nothing to really, write home about. But the thing is that they will make a game competitive. I don't think that I need to remind you about that because you're a 49ers fan, but whatever.
Yeah.
Man, like I said, I really don't know. This is going to be another one of those lackluster kind of games. But I'm going to give this one, give me Chicago. I feel like they're going to show more life in this game than Washington is because Washington just can't hold on to a lead. Give me Chicago in this game 17-10. All right, who you got? Bears, Washington.
Yeah, I have to go with the Commanders in this instance. I don't see a path for Chicago to generate points or to have a winning game plan. I mean, Justin Fields, he's not really playing quarterback right now.
No.
He's barely throwing the ball. You know what I mean? They're not asking him. He's not making many attempts. He's basically a running back that's snapping the ball from the center right now.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't have offensive pieces. You're right. That defense. I mean, they're able to kind of slug game, like get into kind of like slugfest or just like low scoring, kind of drawing out these games, and they've been able to do that. But I mean, yeah, maybe they could do that. Maybe they can win that game. They could they could drag the Commanders in the mud with them, and then just try to just make it a really, really low scoring, just like ball clock management type of game. The Commanders least have shown a little more life, even though they're a 1-4 team.
Yeah.
I still trust Wentz. I mean, at least at the quarterback position, more than I do Fields at this point.
Yeah.
Wentz will still at least they'll throw it deep. He'll make 1 or 2 plays. Give me Washington right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Washington will win this game. They'll get back on their feet a little bit. I just don't see a game, like a path for Chicago to get to a victory here, even though they're at home. Give me the Commanders to win this game. Give me Washington 27-20.
All right. Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers going on the road against Atlanta Falcons. Now, Atlanta is not terrible. They actually show a hell of a lot of fight, win, lose, or draw. But I don't know. They have that whole thing where they can't put teams away either. I mean, it's been that way for like the last 5 years or so. I mean, even with Marcus Mariota at the helm. And the thing is, it's not even their offense. It's the defense that's, that has a lot to do with that. The defense can't hold on to anybody. San Francisco, right now, I feel like they're getting their momentum back. I mean, the thing is, they might have scraped out an ugly win, maybe, and they had an ugly loss at the beginning of the season, but I feel like that they're getting back in the rhythm, especially with the weapons they got, especially with George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, and of course your savior Jimmy Jesus. But yeah, I actually think that because Atlanta's at home, they're gonna make this a competitive fight, but I have to give this to the Niners in this one. Give me the Niners 24-20 over Atlanta. All right, who you got? Falcons, Niners.
Yeah, San Francisco has come on the last couple of weeks after that embarrassing loss to Denver. And the one thing that's been consistent is even though San Francisco overall with their games and the offense have been inconsistent, one thing that will consistently show up is that defense. That defense San Francisco has is the best, if not best, if not top 1, top 2, what do you want to call it, in this league. They show up, they put the beat down, and they'll put the beat down on bad quarterbacks, just like they did last week, against Baker. And I could see them definitely doing that against Mariota. But obviously, we have some, I think Bosa's listed as questionable. We'll see. I think as long as Bosa laces it up, it's gonna be a long day for Mariota. But just the emergence of some key players, like Hufanga, at the safety, he's basically like our Troy Polamalu.
Oh yeah.
He's a big playmaker. He's been coming up huge this season. Yeah, you're right. The Falcons, they definitely are a team that likes to blow these games or blow these leads. They still haven't really gotten it with Pitts yet. Pitts hasn't emerged as a big weapon as he was expected to in this offense. I know he was out last week. But meanwhile, the Niners, even though they've had to kind of do plug and play with the running back position, they've been doing well. Jeff Wilson Jr. has been picking up the slack. I think that San Francisco is gonna again. This is gonna be another game where they dominate. An inexperienced or bad quarterback. Give me San Fran. Even though it's on the road, I'll say San Francisco wins this game. 27-17.
Oh, all right. Next up, we got the New England Patriots going on the road against the Cleveland Browns. This game is going to be harder to judge than most people think it is. And the reason why is because I don't know which New England Patriots are going to show up. That's the big question mark of this game. Now, with Wade, the thing is, Jacoby Brissett is actually playing pretty damn good football. And they have a hell of a running game, too. It's just, and the thing is, they got, weapons on both sides of the ball. And, like I said, this one is just hard because we don't know which New England's going to show up. Man, I believe that this is going to come down to 1, clock management, and 2, who can actually do a better job of keeping the ball on the ground and making the least amount of mistakes. But of course, Belichick always has to cook up some kind of game plan, and he has your best. He always has a way of taking your best weapon away from you in some kind of way, shape, or form. This is going to be a tough one, but give me the Browns 23-21 over the Patriots. Who you got? Browns, Patriots.
Yeah, I'm going to have to lean with the Patriots right now. The Patriots, to me, are the team that's kind of playing a little bit hotter. They're coming on a little bit Browns have looked in the last couple weeks. Brissett, I think he started out somewhat solid, but the last couple of weeks he's had some costly turnovers that have basically lost his teams the games. And again, Brissett, Belichick knows Brissett. Obviously, Brissett was with the New England Patriots early in his career. If anyone can kind of figure out and know what Brissett's limitations are and what he can and can't do, it would be Belichick, who was basically got to see him front and center early on in his career. I can definitely see Belichick coming up with another scheme, kind of a pattern to disrupt Brissett's play as he did with Jared Goff last week. I would say I expect, if the Browns want a shot at this, they need to basically just let Chubb try to carry them, get Chubb at least 25 to 30 touches, and make this basically a game where Brissett does not have to do too much, does not have to make too many deep throws, limit the third and longs as much as you can, and that would be the Browns' path towards winning. But I think Patriots, just the way they've been playing right now, the run game that they've established as of recent, and Zappy, who seems to be hanging in there.
Yeah.
He seems to be managing it well for him. I could maybe see that the Browns' deep front seven could shake them up a little bit. But I'm going to lean with Belichick and that defense against Brissett. So give me Patriots to win this game, 24-21.
All right. Next up, you got the Green Bay Packers at home against the New York Jets. Wow.
Teams with the same record.
Yeah, I never thought I would say that. This is strange. This is really like something out of the Twilight Zone. Now Green Bay can't possibly lose to two New York teams in a row, can they? I mean, and the thing is, the last games that they've lost have all come in the fourth quarter. And that's the thing is, they lose in the weirdest ways. But come on, they got the talent even without Devontae Adams. They still got Aaron Jones. They still got Randall Cobb. I mean, and the thing is, and of course, as long as you got Aaron Rodgers, you still got a chance. But the thing is, it's like in the last quarter of the last game that they lost, it came to Aaron Rodgers making dumb decisions. Now, don't sleep on that Green Bay defense. That Green Bay defense is nothing to sneeze at all. But the Jets are all right. But thing is, I don't want to. They have they have an above 500 record right now. But to me, they got to do a hell of a lot more to prove to me that they're for real. And if you told me that they were going to be they have the same record as the Dolphins, and they were above New England, I would have thought you were nuts. But thing is, it's like they're the Jets actually are doing a pretty damn good job at holding people off. But thing is, this is going to be one of their first true tests. And I actually think that Green Bay is going to get it done in this one. Go ahead and give me the Packers in this game, 28-18 over the Jets. Who you got? Packers, Jets.
Yeah, the Jets have surprised a lot of people. They actually got some nice pieces, especially at the wide receiver core. Corey Davis has been playing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a bright spot for him. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall at the running back. They've had some, again, they're a lot better offensively than we would have thought at the beginning of the season. I think, again, this is obviously, over time, it's hard to pick against the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, in Lambeau. Granted, they are coming off, a London game. Sometimes those travel the week of, a lot of teams tend to take buys after that week to just kind of get their, get the time zone situation and get their minds right. But they're playing right after that. They're playing against the Jets, but they're at home. I could see the Jets actually keeping this competitive because Green Bay has not been playing well this season. They really have not looked to me good at all. They haven't really had a really solid win where they beat down the opponent. I think this is a game where they should win. I think they will win. But for instance, I think right now the betting line is at 7.5.
Yep.
I think the Jets can keep this within a touchdown. I think that's too high for how Green Bay has been looking and playing so far, and I think the Jets are kind of sneaky good. So I would say Green Bay wins, but I think this game's within one score. Green Bay wins this game 28. I'll say 28 to 23.
Oh, all right. Next up, in an AFC South matchup, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Colts, they had a very, very sloppy win last week against the Broncos. Probably one of the sloppiest games ever played. And Jacksonville actually looks pretty damn decent. I mean, they're not, elite or anything like that, but they can make a team sweat. I mean, the thing is, if you ask me, they should be 3-2 because they let that Washington game get away from them. But yeah, man, Jacksonville's defense is all right. The receiving core is, okay. And the quarterback situation is pretty damn good. I mean, I'm not gonna sleep on Sunshine at all. I mean, but it's just that he's going up against Matt Ryan, and also this is gonna be another team that's Jacksonville's going up with, where the Indianapolis Colts don't really have an identity. Who are we gonna see? Like, is Matt Ryan gonna play out of his mind? But I mean, of course, we already know that they don't have the running back, so that he's out of the question. But man, and the thing is, I could actually see both of these teams hanging up 35 points on each other because the defense is not going to be that good.
Right.
Oh boy, I'm actually gonna go with Jacksonville in this game. Give me the Jags. 27-24 over the Colts. Yeah, all right. Who you got? Colts, Jags.
Yeah, Jacksonville already laid the hammer on them early on in the season. They were, I think, it was the shutout, 24-0. That was in Jacksonville, and Indianapolis looked like pure dog shit last week against Denver. Granted, they did steal a victory. So, granted, Jacksonville has looked pretty shaky the last couple weeks. They looked solid that first half against Philadelphia 2 weeks ago, but they didn't look so great in the second half. They didn't look great last week. I would expect maybe a bounce back week for them especially against this Colts team. Granted, they are playing in Indianapolis, but I think this is going to be a game where Trevor Lawrence turns it around. I want to see a little bit more out of Robinson and Etienne in the running back position for him. As of right now, I think they're saying Jonathan Taylor is still questionable. I think if he doesn't play in this game, it's going to be another detriment towards Indianapolis. So I'm going to lean towards Jacksonville to right the ship there in Duval, get a victory. Give me Jacksonville to win this game 31-21.
All right. Next up, we've got the Miami Dolphins at home against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, despite Minnesota's record, I feel like a lot of people are still sleeping on them. They're very, very quiet 4-1. And the Dolphins, they're kind of, injured to hell right now, especially as far as the quarterback situation is going anyway. They still got all the weapons. I mean, that's not going anywhere. Running game and wide receiver game. But yeah. People are really sleeping on Minneapolis, man, and I think that's would be a mistake to make. Now, they say that Tua is practicing right now, but the thing is, I think it would still be a bad idea to put him in right now. I still think that he should still sit for about another week or two. But I know, Tua definitely
can't play, man. Tua needs to he needs to be out for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
there's absolutely no way Miami can trot him out only a few weeks removed from that Bengals game.
Yeah,
and it not be like a boo storm. It just not be like it's a major black eye. It's already kind of a stain on the organization for what's happened so far. I think the only way around it is you got to give him like a month. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he feels ready. You know what I mean? They need to give about a month to get that kind of. Because right now it feels like Miami's got that stink on them. They feel like it feels like the organization's a little bit has that. Like I said, it has kind of a black eye, around the whole situation. So they, granted, depending on Bridgewater's health, they might just need to suck it up and not put him out for a few more weeks because you know what I mean. Like it probably is going to be too soon, but just the backlash from the media that will come on it's going to be too much. I think, I wouldn't want Tua back, at least not, especially not this week.
All right. Final score prediction? Yeah, final score prediction?
Yeah, I know Minnesota, again, they're 4-1. It doesn't feel, granted, I picked them to win the NFC North, and I thought this would be kind of a dark horse team. I thought, Cousins was going to be kind of more unleashed and have a pretty kind of like low key MVP type of season.
Mm-hmm.
They just haven't really played convincingly well. Ever since that Eagles loss and how badly they got blown out, even though they've won the next 3 games, they just haven't, to me, felt like a good solid team. Now maybe they'll pick this up. I think right now the Dolphins, like I said, I think the Dolphins got kind of a stink on them, especially with I think they're basically going to be trotting out third-string quarterback this week against Minnesota. At this stage, I think this is probably another layup win for Minnesota. I don't think they'll have to do too much. Give me Minnesota to win this game. I'll probably say they'll win this game 28-21.
All right. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Bengals going on the road against the New Orleans Saints. I don't really know what to make of the Saints because they're just one of these weird teams. They're one of these teams that are so weird that they'll pull out a win against a team they're not supposed to pull out a win against. And Cincy is, with the way they're don't get me wrong, I still think that they're probably going to make the postseason, but I don't think they're going to go far. And this game is pretty much going to determine how far that they might end up going, because both of these teams are 3-2. You got a team that you expect to go to the postseason against a team that you don't, especially with the way that the NFC South is looking right now. But then again, the NFC South, it really could be anybody's game. Anybody could take that division as of this moment. But man, and the thing is, I actually like what I saw from Taysom Hill this past weekend. I loved what I saw from him because he showed you how versatile he really is. Is he starter quarterback material? Maybe, but I'd still rather see him in that Swiss Army knife role than to see him as a full-time quarterback. Joe Burrow, he's starting his legs back up under him, and so is Joe Mixon. The thing is, Joe Mixon, he's the plow horse for that team right now. At least until Burrow gets back in his groove. And in order for Joe Burrow to get back in his groove, his line has to protect him, because he can't be getting sacked 4 or 5 times every single game. That can't happen. Going ahead. Hopefully, I'm not taking a gamble by picking them, but give me the Bengals in this game over the Saints. 27-21. All right, who you got? Saints Bengals.
Saints Bengals. I'm gonna. This is another toss-up game for me. I like, I think I've liked how the Bengals have kind of maybe have looked. Granted, they blew a game against Baltimore the week prior. But this is a really tough game. I probably would stay away from this game from a betting standpoint. It's kind of a coin flip for me. I guess it all depends if we see Winston back. If we see Winston back in this game, I maybe will lean towards the same. I'll give them the slight edge. I just don't see a Dalton/Taysom Hill combination beating the Cincinnati team. So I think if Winston plays, he's healthy, I'll give the slight edge. I'll give the slight edge to New Orleans. Just that defense. I'm going to go with New Orleans to win this game 23-21. But again, this is very, very interesting. I can go back and forth. I could see Cincy winning this game just as well, but this is a toss-up game.
All right, definitely. All right, next up, you got the Baltimore Ravens going on the road against the New York Giants. Now, this is more important of a game for the Giants than it is for Baltimore, because this game is going to show if the Giants are for real or not. Now, Baltimore, of course, they had a dogfight with the Bengals. Come on, they always do. And Lamar. Lamar is legit. Let's not doubt about that. But the only thing that they have a problem with is their defense not holding. The Baltimore defense isn't really all that scary anymore. And also, Saquon is questionable. He's a game day decision for the New York Giants. I mean, his only problem is that he can't stay healthy. But when he's on that field, he is a difference maker. This game is solely going to depend on if Saquon plays or not. If he does, I'll give it to him, especially since the Giants are at home. If not, I might have to edge Baltimore in this one. I'm going to play it safe and go ahead and pick Baltimore in this one. Give me the Ravens over the Giants. Let's say 24-23. All right, who you got? Ravens, Giants.
Yeah, I got the Ravens in this game. Even the Giants, to me, they're 4-1, but I'm not convinced about that record. It just doesn't. They don't come. I'm not. You know, it's like a team that, if they make the playoffs, I'm for sure going to pick against them.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't trust them. I don't think they're viable. Granted, everything the coaching staff has done with the New York Giants is great. Really have revamped that team, that confidence level. Daniel Jones is playing his best football, seemingly. He seems to be using his legs more. But who else can use their legs? Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I think Baltimore. He's had a couple of stinkers his last couple weeks. I think the Giants is going to be a perfect opportunity for him to kind of push himself back into that MVP talk, that MVP consideration. You know what I mean? This is a contract year for him. This overall season is going to be a referendum on what Baltimore feels like he's worth. And I think this is going to be a potential game for him to kind of pad the stats a little bit. Granted, this is on the road, but Baltimore so far won both of their road games. I think this could potentially maybe be at least a high scoring game for Baltimore. I can see Baltimore putting up a lot of points. I don't know if New York can keep up with them in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Baltimore to win this game. I'll say they'll win this game 28-21.
All right. Next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oof. The hits keep on coming for Pittsburgh. And Tampa Bay is 3-2, but I don't know if this is a risky thing for me to say it, but they're kind of a sloppy 3-2. They're 3-2, but a sloppy one. But they've got, the thing is right now, like they've got all the tools it takes to beat Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh right now is kind of a dumpster fire, because Najee in the running game is not really all that much. We got a rookie quarterback out there. Our run defense is very, very bad. Like, we don't have a top pass rusher, and probably not going to happen for another 3 to 4 weeks. Tampa Bay, they look, like I said, they pulled out some sloppy wins, but that's the thing, is the fact that they know how to win, whether it's at home or whether it's in the away game. Pittsburgh right now, like I said, they're not doing enough to convince me the fact that they're not doing enough, especially because they got blown out by Kansas City. They got blown out by the Buffalo Bills last week. And I don't see this being a blowout by any means. The thing is, it very well could be with all the talent that the Tampa Bay Bucks have, but it's going to be a convincing win for me for Tampa Bay. Going ahead and give me the Bucks in this game, 31-14 over the Steelers. Who you got? Bucks, Steelers.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be another convincing one. I think it's gonna be a convincing win for the Bucks. Bucks have had a tough stretch so far. They kind of snuck out that victory against the Falcons with that kind of controversial roughing the passer call last week. Had a tough loss to the Chiefs and the Packers prior 2 weeks back to that. I think I think the Bucks are going to right the ship. I think this could be a bounce back game for them. You know what I mean? Like, granted, Steelers just had a really, really tough loss against the Bills. I don't know if I could see a Tomlin-led team letting themselves get blown out back-to-back weeks. I think they're gonna have a little more faith, they're gonna want to save face, a little more pride than to have that go on them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't think the Bucks, granted with all the weapons they have, Brady and them, they haven't, with the exception of the Chiefs game, they haven't really looked like a high-powered offense that can put up some points. So I think, I'm going to be able to lay that they're not going to be down as much as the Bills did last week. But I still think they'll win pretty pretty competently. Give me the Bucks to win this game. I'll say Bucks win this game 27 to 17.
All right. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers going on the road against the LA Rams. The Rams, I'm disappointed in the Rams because I mean they're 2-3. I mean, the thing is that that first loss against the Bills, I'll give them a pass on that one. But and the thing is, also in one of the wins, they actually almost choked away a win. I mean, they almost choked away a game to the Falcons of all teams. And to me, it's not Matt Stafford's fault. It's not the defense's fault. I don't know who to put the blame squarely on. And Carolina's not showing me anything special. And also, they got the same problem of them not being able to hold on to a lead. So, as much as I hate to say this game is going to come down to who's going to be more likely to blow it. I really hate to say that, but it's the truth. Man. But going ahead and give me the Rams in this game 28-17 over the Panthers. Who you got? Rams, Panthers.
I mean, Rams are favored by 10 points right now against the Panthers.
Yeah.
But, the Panthers just fired their head coach. I don't know what that means for this team. I don't know if they're going to be playing inspired if they're going to be playing inspired this week. If it's going to be more, discombobulated, if they're going to be more of a mess because the coach is gone. It has to be something, you know what I mean? Like they have to look a little bit better. If you clean up the coach, you get rid of the coach, you got to expect, okay, the team's going to maybe turn things around a little bit. Maybe it was the coach's game plan that was kind of hindering this team. Maybe the Carolina is gonna flip a script and play a little bit better. McCaffrey, he's been playing games, but he hasn't looked like that fantasy stud that he's looked at like during the season when he's actually been healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But this Rams team, they just look like they look like they're suffering from a Super Bowl hangover right now.
Yeah.
They're barely putting up points. They're only averaging 16 points. The Panthers are actually averaging more points per game than the Rams are at this stage. The defense doesn't look dominant. It just looks like they're just a shell of themselves. You know what I mean? Like I just don't know what you expect. Kupp can't really carry this offense. Stafford has looked like he's completely regressed. Looked like he might be one and done, at least with how he looked in that Super Bowl season last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think, talent-wise, coaching-wise, they're at least good enough to get a victory against the Panthers. Give me Carolina to win this game. I'm sorry, not Carolina. Give me Los Angeles to win this game. Say 24 to 20.
I was about to ask if this is an upset for you, but yeah. All right.
No.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, next one. We got an NFC West matchup. We got the Arizona Cardinals going against the Seattle Seahawks. This, to me, is going to be another one of those coin flip kind of games because you can kind of say that not the Carolina Panthers, but the Arizona Cardinals kind of have jerked themselves out of a couple of wins this season. And Seattle right now, I really don't even know what to make of them. But thing is, are you going to see a 5-star game from Geno? Maybe. I'm not even sure. And the thing is, if you look at both of these teams, this is not going to be one of those defensive games. This is going to be a team where both teams, I wouldn't be surprised to put up at least 24 points on each other. I mean, hell, games like that always make high scoring games always make for good TV to watch. But this one is probably going to come down to who has the ball last in like the last 4 to 3 minutes of the game, and who do you trust more in that situation? I actually kind of do trust Kyler more in that situation, but I mean, well, even the thing is, I'm not even 100% sure if I can say that now, but. This might also come down to who turns the ball over the most too. Oh boy,
Geno's been playing better than Kyler so far.
Yeah, Geno has. You're right about that. He has been playing better than Kyler. Oh man, you know what? And the thing is, I would think with the way that Carolina lost last week that they would be out for blood. But I'm not gonna say I don't even know if I'm going with the hot hand with saying this, but I'm actually going to go with Seattle in this game. Go ahead and give me the Seahawks over the Cardinals. 27-23. Who you got? Seahawks, Cardinals.
Yeah, this is another game I would feel like for betting purposes.
Mhm.
Seattle, Arizona's favored 3 points on the road in Seattle. I might actually take Seattle on the points given. I think this is a toss-up game for me. I can't imagine Arizona beating them by more than a field goal. Like I said, Gino's been surprisingly playing pretty competently. Granted, they did lose Rashard Penny to this season, so they're going to be hindered a little bit at running back. Arizona just seems like a team that in a lot of these games they just don't look like they look disinterested. They don't look like basically. They look pretty inconsistent the first half of the game, and then they decide to kind of try to pull together at the last minute of the fourth quarter, and then they make the game somewhat competitive by the final score.
Yeah.
So that could possibly be again another recipe, another thing that we see again occur against Seattle. Yeah, it's a toss-up. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the home team, Seattle, right now.
Oh.
I'm gonna pick them as a slight upset. Give me Seattle to win this game. I'll say they'll win this game 26-23.
All right. Next up, game with a week potential right here, and possibly an AFC Championship game. We got the Buffalo Bills going on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, on the road, it doesn't matter that the Kansas City Chiefs are at home. Kansas City Chiefs right now have been letting teams put up some points on them even when they're at home. And in Buffalo, they blew the Steelers out last week, but I don't think this is not going to happen here. This is going to be another one of those super competitive games, one of these games that go down to the wire. Josh Allen is freaking nuclear. He's playing out of his mind. So is Stephon Diggs, and the running game is pretty damn good too. And that Buffalo defense starting to come alive too. Kansas City, they have hella weapons, but I don't know. And the thing is also, let's go. Travis Kelce's a freaking monster. We can go ahead and just establish that right now. Also, the rest of that receiving core is nothing to sneeze at either. But man, this is I believe this is going to be another one of those high scoring type of games. It wouldn't surprise me if this game went into overtime either. Man, you know what? I was originally going to pick Kansas City, but I'm going to go ahead and pick Buffalo in this game. Going ahead and give me the Bills in this game. 31-27. Who you got? Bills, Chiefs.
Yeah, it's surprising, but Buffalo on the road is favored. Just by under a field goal. I am kind of leaning towards Buffalo. Granted, even though their records are the same, I just feel like Buffalo.
Give me Alabama this weekend.
Buffalo to me has looked a little bit better. They just really had like a tough loss to the Dolphins. Otherwise, they'd be undefeated. I just think. I think offensively they're playing better. I think Josh Allen again has been playing like the MVP. Granted, Mahomes has been almost right up there with them. That whole offense seems to revolve around Allen, essentially a leading rusher as well. And I think I'm going to go ahead because I think maybe given the slight short week edge to the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City playing the Monday night game that was closed, that kind of maybe took a little bit out of them. Again, I think this is a game where Buffalo can win the regular season. Come postseason, Chiefs might go ahead and just take care of business again as they did last year. But I think regular season wise, I think Buffalo will have their number. Give me Buffalo to win this game. I think this is going to be a great high scoring game shootout. Give me Buffalo to win this game 42-37.
All right. Next up, NFC East matchup, prime time. You got the 5-0 Philadelphia Eagles against the 4-1 Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people argue that they should be 3-2, maybe even worse because they don't have Dak. But Cooper Rush he's rise to the occasion. Now, mind you, he's been bailed out by Ezekiel Elliott and company. especially his receiving core as well. But I mean, he's a very manager. I mean, he's a hell of a game manager. You can't sleep on that. Now, I don't think anybody myself. I expected Philly to be 2-3, 3-2 at this point. I didn't expect a perfect record, but I mean, they really have impressed me. And this is a home game for them too. And the thing is, I think that Philly is for real. I think they might actually. A lot of people saying that this was going to be Jalen Hurts' coming out party this year. This is going to be the year where he does show everybody what he's made of. If not, then he's going to be a bust that goes down to the basement. But man, I think that Philly's going to hold on to that undefeated record. Going ahead and give me Philly in this game 28-21 over Dallas. Who you got? Eagles, Cowboys.
The Eagles have been an interesting team. They've been like a first half team. In a lot of these games, the Eagles put up all the points. They put a beat down in that first half, and then for some reason, offense just seems to stall out in the second half of all their games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at their like point differential, they're like negative in the second half. They're like way up on the first half, but in the second half of these games, their offense just seems to stall out. I don't know if they could perhaps afford to do that in this Dallas game.
Yeah.
Again, these NFC East matchup games are always kind of tough. They're always kind of close. Cooper Rush has been playing pretty competently, pretty well. He's been holding down the fort from Dak so far. I think he's yet to lose a game as a starter for Dallas. Even going back to last year. And again, Hurts has been playing pretty solidly. Just managing the fort. He's been playing pretty well. This is probably again one of the toughest games remaining for the Eagles. It might be like, this might be a kind of a slip game. They don't necessarily need this game as much as the Cowboys might need this game because their schedule is just so easy.
Right.
And still have it's so easy for them to pick the upset here.
Oh.
I certainly don't think the Eagles are should be 6-point favorite. I think the Cowboys can keep this, under 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Cowboys can win this game outright, just with the defense and the running game. I think this will be the toughest defense the Eagles have faced. Hurts will be definitely in for it with Parsons on the opposite line there. Give me Dallas to win this game. I'm going to say Dallas wins this game 27-23.
All right. And last but not least, we got another AFC matchup. We got the Denver Broncos going up against the LA Chargers. Now, the Denver Broncos, the thing is, I had high expectations and hopes for the Denver Broncos this year, but they disappointed me. And I don't know if it's Russ's fault or if it's that defense's fault.
Yeah.
No, you know what? You know what the number one thing is? Bad coaching. Horrible coaching.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coaching or Russ.
Yes. The coaching for Denver is freaking horrible. Now, and a lot of people argue that the Chargers should have a better record than they do. They just have the benefit of playing some healthy competition. They just have the burden of having a tougher schedule in the beginning of the season. But with the way that the Broncos are playing right now, it wouldn't surprise me if they got blown out by the Chargers. I mean, the thing is, just because this is a divisional matchup, it might be slightly competitive. But with the way they've been playing right now, there's no reason why the Chargers can't win this right out. This should be a convincing win for the Chargers. If not, then I'm really going to think they win the Twilight Zone. I mean, I love Russell Wilson to death, but the thing is, he's just not getting it done right now. Like I said, it's probably only about maybe 10 to 20% his fault. 60% is on coaching, and then the remaining is on the defense. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead and give me the Chargers over the Broncos 27-20. Who you got? Broncos, Chargers.
Yeah, I like the Chargers in this game. Broncos, to me, just have not looked like a good team at all so far this season.
Mm-hmm.
That offense can't do anything right now, and they don't have Javonte Williams. which is sad. It's a tough loss for him right now so far. Russ is just definitely cooked. He just does not look like the quarterback he once was. And I just think, I think I think that blow to losing Javonte Williams, it's just gonna be hard for them to surmount that. They don't have the pieces there. I mean, at least if Russ was just a few years back from if he took like 2014 Russ, it'd be a different story. But he just does not look good at all. That was the fear going into it. And as a Denver Broncos, if you're a Denver Broncos fan, you got to be thinking, what now? They Broncos have invested a lot of capital, a lot of money into Russ, and you're already, just only 5 games into the season, and you might already be thinking that it was complete waste. And you're now going to have to kind of deal with this for the next couple of years, because of the contract and because of all the capital you gave up on him. So you're kind of committed now, because of everything you invested.
Yeah.
So, I don't see it for him. Again, this is a road game. Granted, it's at the Chargers Stadium.
Yeah.
It's not too much of a home field advantage for Los Angeles, but I think the Chargers will win this game pretty handily. Give me Chargers to win this game. I'll say they'll win this game 28-14.
All right. Well, boys and girls, that'll do it for this week's episode of the NFL 4th and Goal podcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Wise, like I said, I know you've been under the weather lately and you've been dealing with some stuff, but as always, bro, I appreciate you chiming in and giving us your football IQ. You got any final words before we sign out tonight?
Not at all, man. I appreciate you hosting the space, having me back on after my 2-week absence. It's good to be back.
Definitely.
Hopefully next week we can get the whole gang back together with Flip.
Yeah,
this is great, man. Glad to chop it up with you and talk about football.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Also, we're going to be doing a lot more of these spaces. We're going to be getting hopefully a lot more of you to tune in. Follow me on Twitter at Jay the Dreadman or Dreadman J. Hopefully we can get some more people popping in, who can chop it up with us. And we'll probably be doing 4th and Goal. Like, I want to do a segment called Overtime, where we all just chop it up about, where we do our regular 2-hour show, and then we just, do overtime just off the record, or, we just record the space and just chop it up about teams, what's going on outside the league, favorite players and all that stuff. So, but here, and speaking of the devil, Flip just chimed in on us. But I know, right? And the show's already over, but yeah, man.
I need Flip's overtime takes on Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown is ridiculous, like especially with what he's been doing on social media lately, man. But that'll be interesting, when we do 4th and Goal overtime. But anyway, everybody watching on YouTube, like I said, I'm streaming on 3 or 4 different platforms. I'm streaming on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram all at the same time, and TikTok. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Thanks again, Flip. Thanks again, Wise. See you next time.
Peace out, man. See y'all next time. See you.
Let me go ahead and end the stream.